What is the number one thing that empaths need in order to have a healthy relationship, whether it's friendship, whether it's romantic, whether it's professional? Now, this one trait applies across the board in any relationship, but for the empath, it's magnified. And a part of the reason why this one emotion, this one feeling, this one sensation is magnified is that we have an uncanny ability in providing it for everybody else, but the empath rarely receives it in return. And this is why it's so hard for the empath. But I'm going to break it down and share what this one trait is. Welcome to the Sigma Empath Podcast. My name is Germaine. I am a 7-time author, including the book, Pink is the Color of Empathy. It's changed so many lives. The feedback is unbelievable. I'm deeply touched and deeply honored. I'm also a life coach, ranging from narcissist abuse recovery to empath empowerment and to inspiring and empowering people to live authentically. We live in great fear of being true to ourselves. So what is this one thing that the empath needs so much to have a healthy relationship? If you've watched previous videos, I would have shared two videos about one about loneliness, empath loneliness, one about why relationships are so hard. This is now getting a lot more specific as to this one trait that we need. It's based in big part, inspired by Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It's this pyramid that breaks down the levels that humans need in order to self-actualize. And somewhere along the middle is the big chunk that I want to focus on. And for the empath, it's so hard for us to achieve this. For an empath to thrive, for an empath to feel confident, to an empath to feel good about a relationship, we must feel. And again, this is how we make others feel. We need to feel safe. We need to feel safe. Now I'm going to break down some of the subtopics, subheadings that really promote this feeling of safety. How do we make people feel safe? The first one is we listen to people. We genuinely listen to their pain points, to their frustrations, to their vulnerabilities, and we understand them, or at least we seek understanding. Being understood uplifts any soul because it validates your existence. It means that I see you. In the book, I talk about Zulu tribe. The Zulus have a phrase called Sawubona, and it means I see you. When somebody sees you and acknowledges the essence of who you are, without judging or condemning you, you feel safe. And through that safety, there's a level of empowerment. You feel secure with this person. You can be you. Going back to authenticity coaching, you feel comfortable to be you. And when we feel comfortable to be ourselves, we can exhale, because the world demands that we compromise the essence of who we are in order to fit in and blend in. And I've also done other videos about fitting in. The empath doesn't fit in. And so for us, we either have to wear the mask, which is really painful for us to not be authentic, or we have to isolate, which is also quite painful. Being understood, and again, the empath, this is a trait that I've talked about in other reels. As an empath, you will find people just randomly come up to you, strangers. People feel safe to reveal who they are, share an experience, because they instinctually feel this vibration of non-judgment. We make people feel safe. But unfortunately for the empath, it's rarely reciprocated. One, because people are too busy taking from us. They take from us. We make them feel safe. We give and we share our light and our non-judgment and our understanding. And so the empath doesn't receive that, and it's hard to feel safe. So it's being understood. Crucial. If you are able to find somebody who understands you, or at least, this is the beginning of the journey, at least is willing to try and understand you by listening, truly listening to you, your experiences, validating your opinions, your experiences, That's the beginning of the journey of feeling safe, is finding a partner who is willing, because we do it innately. Not everybody has this gift. So you've got to give a little bit of leeway, but you've got to give people the chance. But from minute one, you can already sense, is this person willing to try to understand me? Are they willing to listen? If they're not willing to listen, they're always preoccupied talking about themselves, you're never going to feel safe. This relationship is not for you. Save your energy, save your time, put up the boundaries, walk away. Go back to isolation if that makes you feel safe. And this is why we do go into isolation. The number one reason why we go into isolation is because we feel safe there. It might hurt because of loneliness, but at least it's safe. So it's being understood. Safe is the major talking point. Bullet point, sub-bullet point number one, being understood. Bullet point number two is we crave being valued. Oftentimes, more than oftentimes, nearly all the time, people tend to take advantage of the empath because, again, of our kind, generous, understanding, empathetic nature. We give and we give and we give, and people take and take and take, and we can feel depleted and exhausted because our energy is going outward. We feel taken advantage of. We feel undervalued. And again, that boundary, if you don't feel valued by somebody, number one, take the time to communicate it to them. I don't feel valued. I need to feel valued. And if they're incapable of providing you with that, it's not your person. The empath needs to feel valued. By the way, as always, let me know in the comments, do you agree with so far bullet points number one and number two, this urge, this need, this must to feel understood? Also, have you had that relationship where you felt understood, or have you lived a life, the cliche life of the empath, where you have not been understood? And how important is being valued? How important is that to you? Now the question becomes, how do you know that somebody values you? Well, the most simple way to know that somebody values you is that they show appreciation. It can be verbal. It can literally be verbally saying, hey, I really appreciate what you did there. Thank you, saying thank yous, showing appreciation, reciprocation. When people reciprocate their kindness, their generosity, whatever your love language is, maybe that's the ultimate form of showing that somebody values you, is that they reciprocate, they communicate to you in the love language that aligns with your needs, that makes you feel, going back to the word safe, that makes you feel safe. The 5 love languages. Which one is yours? Communicate to your partner, this is what I need. Quality time. I need words of affirmation. I need touch. I need gifts. I need acts of service. If they value you, they will make the effort to speak to you in the language that makes you feel good. But ultimately, it's about them communicating clearly to you so that you feel appreciated. You feel that they are grateful for that which you bring to the table, for the big gestures, the small gestures, the compromises you make, the sacrifices you choose to make. All these things let you know that they value you. Taking lets you know that you are not being valued. And in terms of the sacrifices and the compromises you've made, what compromises, what sacrifices are they making? Now, when I talk about sacrifice or compromise, I don't mean your core values. I don't recommend anybody violates their core values in any capacity. But there are areas in a relationship where compromise is healthy, is necessary, sometimes even sacrifice to truly show somebody, hey, your well-being is so important to me. I'm willing to sacrifice this thing that I love to do because I know that you need this. For example, you need me to be here for you today. I had a dinner appointment with a client. I was going to play tennis with friends, but you know what? I realized that you need me in this moment. And I'm more than happy to sacrifice what I am going to enjoy on a superficial level to accommodate your need. This shows I value you. I am here for you. I am here for you in the way that you are, have been, will always be there for me. And then the third point is, this is more specific to men. And I don't want to go down the cliche gender role, but it's more about feminine, masculine energy. There is a difference. I'm all about equality. There is a difference between male energy and feminine energy, male expectations and female expectations. And even though it's a little bit cliche, allow me to paint a broad picture for the sake of this discussion. Men, in general, and specifically as an empath man, I need to feel respected. Everybody says, yeah, I want to feel respected too. Women want to feel loved. Men must feel respected. That primal, primitive, caveman instinct is, you will respect me. And that's why we sort of impose power, because if people don't respect the man, we're going to force it physically, because we want to be respected. And for the empath, male or female, all humans want to be respected. But the empath, again, we respect others. These are all things that we give and rarely given back. Again, tell me in your situation, in your relationships, how important has respect been? Have you received the respect you feel you deserved? And tying this very quickly into the narcissist, all these things that I'm sharing, you will be deprived, intentionally deprived of all these things. They will not make you feel safe. The narcissist will intentionally keep you off balance, making you feel so vulnerable, so exposed, so insecure. They will never show you respect. They don't value you whatsoever. They only value what they can get from you until there's another source of supply. And let me tell you something. The narcissist definitely does not respect you. You are an object. The empath is an object to the narcissist. The empath, unfortunately, becomes a bit of an object, a tool to use for most of society, again, because of our typical traits. Now, all of those things put together, being understood, valued, and respected, makes us feel safe. It's Maslow's hierarchy of needs with a focus on that middle portion, safety. Now, what do if you don't have those feelings? Well, you have to set a boundary and you have to walk away for your own well-being. You now have to take accountability and establish your own safety, which again can oftentimes mean isolation. Personally, I've learned through my experience, through my journey, I would rather be isolated, alone, lonely, feeling safe within my privacy, within my castle with a moat around it, and boiling oil ready to pour on anybody who dares get too close to me, who dares to violate my peace. It's all about finding that safety, that peace within. And once you find it, you will realize, I found it within. You now become less dependent on finding it externally. Safety, safety, safety leads to peace. And ultimately, everybody wants a level of peace. And if anybody takes away your sense of peace, makes you feel unsafe, they are not deserving of the light that shines within your beautiful empath soul. Everybody, once again, my name is Germaine. Thank you for listening. This was the Sigma Empath podcast. It's my rant edition where I have no guests. I just talk about a topic, whatever comes to mind, whatever I feel. I hope that it brings you value. And as always, last call to action. We are a minority of 5% of the population are empaths. We need each other. Within this community, please offer mutual support to each other. That's the value, the purpose, so that we, within this community, within any empath community, can provide a level of safety to each other by being seen, heard, and understood. Thank you, everybody.